All right, you guys, this your boy back at y'all with another one. Let's get down to business. Now, this is an album review from the legendary rapper Nas. We were surprised by this album drop when it came out on Christmas Eve. Like, there was like no notice that this album was going to drop. I don't even think there was even a mention of this album dropping. But nonetheless, it dropped on Christmas Eve. Uh, and it's about 29 minutes and 60 seconds. It has 9 tracks: Speechless, Meet Joe Black, Ugly, 4016 Building, Hollywood Gangster, Woo for the Children, Wave Guards, featuring ASAP Rocky and DJ Premier, the legendary producer. Now, this is the only song on the album that has a feature. The Truth, my personal favorite song on the album, and Dedicated. Now, this is the second album that Nas has dropped in 4 months. Because back in August of this year, he dropped King's Disease 2. Now, this was the follow-up or the sequel to the original King's Disease album he dropped last year that enabled him to win his first ever Grammy. On the song Ugly, he made a reference to King's Disease 3 coming out soon. Now, for this album, it just further cements how iconic this man is on the microphone. The lyricism, the attention to detail, the creativity has always been there. When you have a producer like Hit Boy, in my opinion, has unlocked another level of this man's genius. Now, Nas was already a legendary rapper before his association with Hit Boy. But when he associated with Hit Boy, it just further cement his iconic status. He is definitely in rare form. Now, I told you my favorite song on the album was The Truth. That's personally my favorite song on the album. But another song I really like on there is Ugly. And I'm going to highlight a couple lines from that particular song that he mentioned on that album. Now, I already mentioned about him referencing King's Disease 3, but he made a line on that song alluding to companies profiting off of Black trauma. Now, we've seen instances of that because he made reference to that is in reference to Black Lives Matter, Juneteenth, other instances where, you had the Washington football team giving up their naming rights. Ironically, when George Floyd passed away. And there's other incidents, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, other instances where something traumatic happens to someone in the Black community and companies end up making tons of money from that, right? Then he also goes on to say later on that line, that's ugly, mad ugly, just like Shanae and Wanda. Now, for those of you who are not aware of who those two individuals are, Shanae was the main antagonist on the hit TV show Martin back in the 90s. It was played by Martin Lawrence. Shanae was Martin's next door neighbor who will always come in and antagonize his girlfriend Gina and sometimes Pam. Wanda was a character that was played by Jimmy Fox on the hit TV show back in the day called A Living Color. Wanda was this ugly girl who would target unsuspecting men through seduction until whoever man, and normally that man would be Tommy Davidson, would finally see how Wanda looks. So those are the two references that Nas has made on that song "Ugly." Now we can go down the line of the many instances and the references that he talks about on his songs, but to me, the best songs on that album is "The Truth." "Speechless" was another good one. Um, "Ugly," 4016 Building, and "Wave Gods." Now, "Wave Gods," like I said before, was the only song on the album that had a feature that were with DJ Premier. He was on the mixer with Hit Boy, but he didn't provide any lyrics. ASAP Rocky, on the other hand, did provide lyrics, and ASAP Rocky really did his thing. Now, I suspect that this is not the only time you're going to see Nas and ASAP Rocky do a collaboration. This was a well put together collaboration song on the track. And I would not be surprised if we see something like this on King's Disease 3. The bottom line is, this album is definitely worth listening to. I don't think there was a song on the album that I skipped. And once again, Hit Boy really unlocked another level of this man's wordplay. I mean, I was already in awe of his wordplay, his storytelling, his attention to detail, the way that stories aligned and made sense. He's always had that. But with Hit Boy unlocking this new level, I mean, the guy is damn near 50 years old and still kicking storytelling, still kicking lyrics at an extremely high level. He's a fine wine that's aged with time. And I'm looking forward to King's Disease 3 dropping. That's all I have to say. But you guys let me know what y'all think about the album. I can't say I'm thoroughly impressed because I was always in awe of this man's lyricism. He's my favorite songwriter. He's not a rapper, he's a songwriter. There's a difference. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's see who's in the building. What's up, Eric Johnson? Salute, bro. James J 2121, salute. Nas need to team with Pete Rock. Yeah, for a full album. No, I don't want to see him with a full album. Maybe with a couple tracks here and there, but a full album with Pete Rock, nah. I like this association he has with Hit Boy too much. Ninth Wonder, I wouldn't mind Nas doing a track with doing an album with Ninth Wonder. It worked out with Jean Grey, so yeah, I would definitely like to see him do it with Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder got some really dope beats as well. So, but yeah, tell me what you guys think about the album. Out of 5, I would give it a 4.5. I would give this album 4.5 out of 5. Smash the like, hit subscribe. This your boy. Scream at me. Hurt.